Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and today we start a new series on the podcast, 5 episodes that are focused on the opportunities ahead for the coffee industry and the role that you play in the coffee industry. You ready? Let's do it. This podcast is brought to you by Mapper Forward's new Patreon community, the Global Coffee Think Tank. Check the show notes or head to patreon.com/mapperforward to find out how you can become a member today. For some time now, we have been talking about the challenging economic climate ahead. We've been talking about that for over a year now, and we have been encouraging you to get ready for the ramifications of what that means for your business. We've been encouraging you to keep track of inflation, to take a look at your books and make sure that your pricing is going to pad in a lot of inflation. We were talking about how you can prepare your staff, how you can prepare your customer acquisition planning, etc., etc., etc. The time for preparing, in my humble opinion, has gone, and those times are now here. We are in recession, all but in name. And as we come to the end of another era of our industry and begin what is going to be a challenging time, I thought that instead of being focused on how challenging that's going to be, we should be looking at the opportunities that are ahead for our industry, because in all times of turmoil and chaos, we are presented with opportunities. And upfront, I want to thank Bubba from Coffee Newsbreak for having a conversation with me to encourage me to do this series. So shout out to Bubba. And if you haven't been checking out Coffee Newsbreak on Instagram, go check it out now. We'll leave a link in the show notes below. So in this series, what we're going to be focusing on is 5 different episodes that will help you thrive in this challenging time. And today, we're specifically going to be talking about using what's happening now as an opportunity to get your house in order. Now, what do we mean by get your house in order? Because of things that are shifting and changing and new opportunities that are presented with us, or we are presented with, this is absolutely an opportunity for you to turn around and say, this is what's working for me, this is what's not working for me, and it's time to make some changes. It's time to audit your SOPs and see if they are working for you or not. SOPs being standard operating procedures. If they're not working for you, it's time to get rid of them. Is the workflow that you've got happening in your business working for you? That applies whether you're a cafe or a roastery or a solo entrepreneur. Are the SOPs working for you? And are the people that are working for you? So this is a real definite time that you can put a stake in the ground in your business and say, things are changing. It's time to reassess. Are the people that I'm working with and who are working for me, are they working for this business or not? It could be that you have to change their responsibilities and invite them into a conversation about, hey, listen, do you think that the role that you're playing here really taps into the talents that you have? And if it doesn't, how can we reimagine your role so that you feel more fulfilled in your job and the business feels that it's getting the best for its buck? Again, this is all about maximizing the opportunities ahead for all the stakeholders that are involved in that discussion. So this is a time to look at, are the internal operations of your business working for you or not? And that's the first point. So go ahead and use this time ahead to get your house in order by making sure that the internal operations of that are working to the best of everybody's advantage. And when you do take a look at that, it will definitely shift things. And I want to use a really strange example. You know how you clean your espresso machine every day and your grinder every day, but you don't really look at it. You just kind of clean it. And then a new barista comes in and says, I'm just going to clean the espresso machine. And you think, but I clean the espresso machine every single day. The fresh eyes see the things that you inherently compensate for in your day-to-day cleaning of the machine. So giving yourself some fresh eyes on a situation is going to clean the dirt that you didn't know was there, clean out the cobwebs, make things more efficient. So that's what's important in taking stock of how you clean house, or I guess in how you get your house in order. The second thing in getting your house in order is reassessing how you're making decisions. Are the people who are advising you, are the organizations that are setting the decision-making standards and the standards in general for your business, are those things serving you anymore? And if they aren't, how dependent are you for making your decisions? The last couple of years have really given us the opportunity to take a look at what serves us and what doesn't serve us. This is a time to start believing the truths that you accumulated during that time and the insights that you got during that time, and listen to them and apply them. So the second thing that I would say when you're putting your house in order is reassess the way that you're making decisions for your business. Reassess how you're I guess the term I want to use is feeding that decision-making process. This is a time to figure out who is influencing the way that you do that. The third approach that I would like to invite you to consider when you are putting your house in order is write a list of all the decisions that you've been putting off. If there are decisions that you've been putting off because it was either too hard, too expensive, too risky, too time-consuming, or all of those kinds of things, this is a time to write all those decisions down and figure out if they will help you put your house in order. Because we are here at the very beginnings of what is going to be an uphill climb. You figuring out what you want to put in the backpack that you take with you as you do that uphill mountain climb, that's going to be imperative. So take stock of the decisions that you've been putting off. Cross off the ones that don't matter anymore. And then for the rest of them, start making the decisions, or start at least looking at what needs to happen before you can make those decisions. And the final thing that I would say in getting your house in order, please assess the community that you are partaking in. There's a lot of toxic communities happening online. There are a lot of great communities happening online. Are you participating in the shit slinging that happens in toxic communities online? Or are you participating in cultivating change and contributing to discussions that address the really challenging issues that are ahead? How about the communities in the local industry that you're a part of? Are you participating in elevating that community? Are you participating in growing that community, feeding the inspiration into that community? Or are you participating in knocking people down? So the fourth thing that I would invite you to do when getting your house in order is to consider the community that you have around you and the community that you're participating in and the role that you play in that community. And how can you shift your behavior from being something that you're proud of, something that helps to cultivate growth. Because there's two different ways that we can, well, I guess there's three different ways that we can look at this time and how we move forward. We can look at it as we are going to thrive. No matter what challenges show up, we're going to approach them. We are going to figure out the problems and solve them, and we are going to push forward and grow through this experience. The other option is that we can approach it with no plan, and we can just decide we're going to be defeated, but we're going to go on as long as we can. And when we're removed from the scenario, we're removed from the scenario. And the third option is just to be apathetic, do nothing, and not care, and just be a bystander that gets swept up in all of it and reacts and just comes out of this the way they come out of this. So you choose how you'd like to participate in that. If you are somebody who would like to thrive as we go through the next couple of years of challenges in this industry, stick with us for the next episode. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about how you can use this time, no matter how challenging it is, to actually grow your business. Grow your business in a healthy way, in a successful way, in all the ways, including financial profitability, that will work for your coffee business. See you in the next episode. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks, friends. If you enjoyed this video, here's what you should check out next. Consider supporting Map It Forward on Patreon, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell before you leave.